Now we are going to study the next division, that is species. That means the organism which bears fins. We just write here fins. In that there are two classes. The class 1 is chondrichthyes, the fishes which bears cartilage, whereas the other one is the osteichthyes, that is the fishes which have endoskeleton, which are made up of bones, that is bony endoskeleton. That's it. Okay, before we discuss about that two classes, I just want to give you one information where I forgot to mention it in my previous video session when I was discussing about the cyclostomata. See, cyclostomata, both are same. Okay, I forgot to mention this. 6 to 15 gill slits present are present in the case of cyclostoma or cyclostomata. Just add this particular point to that notes, actually your notes. Okay, let me just show where exactly these gill slits are present in the case of cyclostomata by taking one example, that is I am going to draw the diagram of petromyzon. Okay, so this is the petromyzon, a jawless vertebrate. Note this point, could be asked. Name the jawless vertebrate. Cyclostomata, in that hagfishes or myxin, other one is petromyzon. Okay, so we just draw the diagram. The animal looks like this, Okay, fine. Here exactly you could see the slits. The slits are nothing but tiny windows, openings, window-like structures actually, that could be seen. How many are there total? It could be starting from 6 to 15. Okay, so this is the thing. Now I'll just erase it. What we learn is about chondrichthyes. Now we are going to study about the chondrichthyes. Very important. For that we have to draw the diagram of the fishes which belongs to the phylum chondrichthyes. Okay, what I am going to do, I'll just draw the diagram of a chondrichthyes, that is starfish. See the body. Body of all the fishes, they are streamlined like a boat. Yes, that is common, right? Okay. Here we'll put a small tiny structure like this, and their mouth is very, that this mouth part is very sharp actually, but the mouth is situated here. You could see the mouth. We'll continue. So like this, and it ends like this, and it has got two anal fins. Okay, and here it has got a caudal fin like this. Okay, like this, and this one is the pectoral fin, and this one is the pelvic fin. So we just write, this is pelvic fin and this is pectoral fin. Simple. What is the meaning of pelvic and pectoral? See, my arms are attached to the pectoral bones. So this is the pectoral bone. Got it? Pelvic is this region, pelvis, pelvic. Okay, so pelvic. That is actually in the posterior region of the body. Pectoral is anterior position of the body. That's it. Okay, pectoral, pelvic fin, and this is the anal fin, and this one is the caudal fin. Caudal fin, and this is situated on the dorsal side of the body of the organism. So this is dorsal fin. Dorsal fin. And what I am going to do is I am just put one eye here. Okay, the eye. And the mouth, okay, we'll draw a good mouth like this. Where exactly the mouth is situated? The mouth is situated towards the ventral side. If you take a normal fish like katla, let me just draw a normal fish, a rough diagram. See this, where exactly the mouth is situated? Here, ventral or dorsal or center? It is exactly at the center, that is, we call it as terminal mouth. Terminal mouth. In this case, the ventral mouth. This is terminal, that is at the center. Okay, so that is normal in the case of bony fishes. Okay. Now we'll write its important character. I would like to add one more diagram. I forgot. We just draw one more diagram, that is of another species which belongs to the chondrichthyes. Okay, like this. Okay, we'll go with rough like this. This this one is nothing but shark. So we just write shark here, shark, and in the bracket we write its scientific name, that is Scoliodon. Shark, Scoliodon. Got it? It is also called as dogfish. In shark there are so many different types actually. Okay, great white shark is also there. Fine, just remember Scoliodon, dogfish. Okay, so this is actually Pristis. What is this? Another type of organism which belongs to Chondrichthyes called as the Pristis. Because of its mouth shape, we call it as sawfish. Sawfish. Just note this. Enough. Okay, so we'll go with its normal general character. See this, the body is streamlined. We write it. Streamlined body. Okay, streamlined body. That is very important character. Next is, if you look, the entire body is actually, containing what type of endoskeleton? Cartilaginous endoskeleton. Hence the name Chondrichthyes. What is the meaning of chondric? It is nothing but cartilage. So we write they have cartilaginous endoskeleton. The entire body is made up of cartilaginous endoskeleton. Hence, these fishes are called as cartilaginous fishes. If you want, you can add. So these fishes are called as cartilaginous fishes. Just add. Okay. Do they have notochord? Yes. See, if you take vertebrata, as I said earlier that notochord is present only during embryonic stage, but it is later replaced with or by the vertebral column, solid vertebral column as endoskeleton. But if you take this Chondrichthyes, they do not have the bones. The entire body is made up of cartilage. So here, to provide more support to the cartilage, they have notochord that is persistent, that is present throughout their life. So we write this point, a very important point, that is notochord. So very important for your competitive examination. In the case of Chondrichthyes, notochord is persistent. What is the meaning of persistent? That is nothing but present throughout their life. Got it? So it is present or persistent throughout their life. This is the one important thing. So that means if the notochord starts from head, it extends till tail and it will be there till this fish dies. Got it? Okay. We'll erase it. Please copy this. I will erase this picture so I get space. Okay. Next is the entire body is very rough. Okay, it's very rough. Not only rough, it's very tough. Why? Because the entire body is made up of type of skin-like structure. See, we have very smooth skin, but these fishes, they have very rough, tough skin. Got it? Because this skin-like structure is made up of a type of scale. See, in human beings we call this structure as skin, but in the case of fishes we call that structure as scales. In the case of Chondrichthyes, what type of scales they have? Placoid scales. This is the term actually. Placoid scale is nothing but very tough and rough scale. Got it? So this is the thing. Now again here the mouth. See where exactly the mouth is situated. So we write here the mouth is ventral. So this is one of the important feature of Chondrichthyes. Mouth is ventral. Mouth is ventral actually. Okay. And in the mouth what you see? You see a very strong, a curvy teeth like this. This is it. Why they have very sharp and curvy teeth? Simple. Curvy teeth in the sense the teeth is projected backwards. Okay, it is actually backwardly projected like this. Done. Okay. And this teeth is very sharp because all the Chondrichthyes organisms are very good predators. So we just write they are very good predators. Got it? Carnivores. They eat the other type of fishes. That's it. They just hunt and kill it because they have very sharp teeth that is backwardly projected, and they are called as predators. They are very good predators. Okay. Then next is actually you may get a question for your competitive examination. The teeth is, as I said, it is backwardly projected. Yes, we know that. Now the question is like which particular structure makes this teeth in the Chondrichthyes? These teeth are made up of or modified placard scales. So we write here, so teeth are nothing but modified placard scale. That's it. Modified placard scale. Got it? So this is the important thing now. Okay. We'll talk about its gill slits. See, this is actually the gills. You see the gills? Yes. So they have more than 6 pairs of gill slits. So here we'll write here, they have gill slits but without operculum. So this is the point you need to remember. Very, very important point. If you take the fish diagram, this shark diagram, do you see the covering for this particular gill slits? No. If you take a normal fish, like commonly seen bony fishes, like this, you see the gills, and these gills are covered with some structure like this, right? You cannot see the gill slits because it is covered with operculum. What is operculum? Operculum is nothing but the cover of gill slits. Cover of gill slits is called as operculum, but in the case of chondrichthyes, only gill slits are present, whereas operculum is completely absent. So please note this point. Very important. Without operculum. Okay. Next is actually we will erase it. Please copy it. Now we will erase everything now. Okay. And here, if you take this particular diagram as male shark, okay, we'll just consider this as male shark. So this is the pelvic fin, as I said earlier. In the pelvic fin, the tip of the pelvic fin, they have a tiny structure like this. This is very sharp, teeth-like structure, or maybe like nail-like structure actually. They are called as claspers. So you write here, male chondrichthyes, they have claspers. They have claspers where in their pelvic fin. Okay, what is this clasper? You take cheetah, you take tiger, lion, they have claspers, right? What is the function of clasper? Clasper help them to give a very good grip on prey actually, so that they can become a very good predator. So they can actually hold any of the animals firmly. So this is the thing happens actually, when the mating, the copulation is taking place, that is actually, sexual reproduction is happening between male and female shark. The male actually normally sits on the female, on their back, and with the help of the clasper, it actually, pricks the back of the female, so that the female or like the male get a very good grip during mating. The female cannot escape. So this is actually the thing to remember. The claspers help them to give a very good grip during mating. Okay, so this is actually the main function of claspers. So all the chondrichthyes male, they have claspers where in their pelvic fin. So this is important thing. Next, I don't know the number actually. Fine, something. The next is actually, let me just tell you about its heart. So they have got a heart. The heart is ventral because they are all vertebrates actually. How many chambers of heart they have? They have 2 chambered heart. So we just write 2 chambered heart. Even actually all the fishes, that is species, they have 2 chambered heart. Okay, that is one auricle and other one is ventricle. Auricle, ventricle. 2 chambered heart. That is actually the thing. What about their circulation system, open type or closed type? They are vertebrates. They have closed type of circulation. Just try it. Closed type of circulation. Okay. So this is actually the thing. Now, what is important is in the case of species, the fishes, all the fishes, you take chondrichthyes or eastes, it doesn't matter. All are this poikilothermous animals. Poikilothermous animals. What is the meaning of poikilothermous? That means that this particular animal is cold-blooded. What is the meaning of cold-blooded? That means their blood is cold. Nothing like that. Very simple. Each and every organism has to maintain their body temperature. What is the body temperature of human being? 37 degrees. Correct. Okay. If the temperature increases, what's going to happen? It normally bothers us. We call it as fever. If the temperature reduces than 37, again it bothers us. Okay. So increase or decrease in the normal temperature really going to cause a trouble. That means Our entire body is dependent on enzyme kinetics, that is enzymatic activity. If the temperature increases, then obviously enzyme starts dying. Got it? If the enzymes die, obviously like our metabolic process stops. So we die. The same thing here. There are organisms where the body temperature has to be maintained. However, how exactly our body temperature is maintained? Very simple actually. The food we eat, the metabolic process takes place inside our stomach, okay, and at the same time even the brain. All these things actually produces body heat. That body heat is nothing but makes the entire body temperature as 37 degrees Celsius. Got it? So we are not poikilotherms. Okay, we are warm-blooded animals. But in these cases they are cold-blooded. What is the meaning of cold-blooded? Here the entire body cannot produce the heat. So they have to obtain their heat from other source. What is the other source? Sun. Have you seen crocodile? They bask, or maybe like the snakes, they bask under the sun. Why? To absorb the sunlight, that is nothing but heat, so that the body warms. That's it. So they are cold blooded. That means they cannot maintain their body temperature. So please write on this: cold blooded means the organism cannot maintain their body temperature like us, like human beings. Okay? Maintain their body temperature. That's it. I think calculated full. Okay, so this is actually the thing. Poikilothermous animals done. Okay. The next thing is some examples. I would like to add here one important thing is we'll talk about its reproduction first. Reproduction is obviously sexual reproduction, and the fertilization is internal. So fertilization is internal. Can you write full? Okay. Are they oviparous or viviparous? This is the confusion with all the students. These particular chondrichthyes fishes are 100% viviparous. That means they give rise to young one as it is. The young one looks similar to the parent. Like this. Got it? Like this. Similar. So this is actually viviparous. Got it? Internal fertilization, and they are viviparous, and the development is always direct, like the parent itself. So please write down development is direct. This is the thing. Okay. Last point I would like to add. That is some examples. Have you seen trigon? I'll post the picture. They have a type of sting that is called as the poison sting. Okay, it contains poison, very dangerous, very deadly. And a good example for the chondrichthyes which has poison sting, that is trigon. Please note this point. Example is trigon fish, which has poison sting, very important for your competitive examination. The other one is actually some fishes, they have electric organs. They are very, very dangerous. Okay, right? Some fishes, they have electric organs. So you get a question, name the chondrichthyes which exhibit electric organ. Simple, the name of the chondrichthyes is torpedo. We write here, torpedo exhibit electric organ. Name the fish which exhibit poison sting, trigon. Got it? Trigon. Okay. Here let me write its common name. That is also important actually for your competitive examination. Electric ray is the common name of torpedo. Note this point, please write this point. Trigon is also called as stingray. Stingray is actually the common name of trigon. Okay. Then I have already mentioned the sawfish. What is the scientific name of this sawfish? That is nothing but Pristis. Okay, one more example I would like to add here. We'll erase this portion. That is Carcharodon. Carcharodon is nothing but the scientific name of great white shark. Very dangerous shark. Great white shark is the scientific name is Carcharodon. Okay, and Scoliodon, dogfish. Simple, easy, right? Okay. Very important point I forgot to mention even after explaining for 20 minutes. This is very important character of all the chondrichthyes. See, if you just take a small shark and put it in the aquarium, okay, they normal, like, how to swim regularly. They swim regularly. They cannot take rest. If you take a normal bony fish, take aquarium fish, that is nothing but bony fish itself. They normally like swim for some time and after that they stop. They can stay anywhere else in the water, okay, without swimming. That means actually they have the capacity to float in the water. But the main disadvantage of chondrichthyes fishes are they do not have some air bladder. Okay, so let me tell you what is this air bladder. We take one small bony fish example. Okay, bony fish, inside the body they have some air bladder. Air bladder will be there, and because of the air bladder, so what's going to happen when they respire, the air enters into this air bladder and they reside inside the bladder, and because of that it helps the fish to float. That is nothing but gives them this buoyancy. The buoyancy will be there because of the presence of air bladder in the case of Osteichthyes, but in this case no air bladder. So write down that point, I forgot. Okay, chondrichthyes will not exhibit the presence of air bladder. So write down no air bladder. Because of this, the disadvantages, they have to swim regularly. No rest, nothing else. Regularly. Got it? Sharks, or maybe like if take any other chondrichthyes, they swim regularly actually. They cannot take rest. For example, if they are tired in the water, so let us say like this is the surface of water, this is the middle of the water, and the shark is somewhere else here. Okay, somewhere else here, and it is tired now. So what's going to happen to this shark? They sink. Can you believe? This is the aquatic organism. They can sink. Got it? Nothing will happen to them but sink. To avoid sinking, they have to swim regularly. This is it. Why? No air bladder is provided, so there is no buoyancy. So they have to swim regularly, otherwise they sink. This is the disadvantage of chondrichthyes fish. Hope you understood this session. Now I will discuss about one more class of species, that is Osteichthyes. Got it? Please understand the concepts very well. Got it? Here in this particular session where I have included NEET session also. Okay, maybe from here onwards let me just update these concepts with NEET. Okay, little bit I will just bring the NEET concepts in here and there. Okay, we'll update it. After that, once I complete this chapter, I am going to take a new session, that is NEET session itself. Complete NEET. Extra information will be given. Done? Okay, fine. Thank you. The next class of species is Osteichthyes. Meaning of Osteicht means nothing but bones. So the fishes belongs to Osteichthyes are also called as bony fishes. Why they are called as bony fishes? Because they have bony endoskeleton. So we write bony endoskeleton inside the body. Okay. The next is we just go with its body shape. The body is streamlined, similar to chondrichthyes itself. Okay, streamlined. And another important thing is the scales. If you take the scales of the organism, we just write here the scales. In this case, they are not placoid scales. So placoid means rough scales. Here the smooth scales are there. The type of the scales these organism exhibit are, we write here, cycloid scales, very important, or it is also called as ctenoid scales. I believe that you remember all this terminology. Okay, you will understand it later actually. Okay, so fine, you get used to it, don't worry. Okay, what we do is we just draw the diagram of the Osteichthyes fish like this. Okay. See, this is the mouth and this is actually the scales. See, this is cycloid or ctenoid scales. Okay, fine. And the mouth, see the mouth, where exactly mouth is situated? The mouth is situated which is terminal. See, it is not ventral. Got it? Like chondrichthyes. It is terminal. The mouth is terminal. Note this point. That is the important difference between chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes. Okay. The next is where exactly you see Osteichthyes. Marine water? Yes. Fresh water? Yes. Chondrichthyes 100% marine water. You don't see them in fresh water. Okay. So that is the difference. So they are marine plus freshwater organisms, habitat. Okay, we talk about its gills now. Do they have gill slits? Yes, they have gill slits. How many are there? 4 pairs. I have written 5 here. So this side you see 4 gill slits. The other side you see 4 gill slits. So please write down that, very important. 4 gill slits with gill cover. What do you call the cover of the gills? Operculum. So operculum is present. So here in this case, these gill slits are protected or covered by a type of triangular structure that is called as the operculum. Done. Another thing is they have air bladder. Because of the presence of the air bladder, they can take rest anywhere else in the water. Okay, so air bladder is present. We write here air bladder is present, which gives them this floating buoyancy. Got it? They can float anywhere else in the water. That means they can take rest after continuous swimming. So this is actually the thing. Next is, again they are poikilothers, no need of explanation, cold-blooded animals. Fertilization is external, not internal, like chondrichthyes. So we write here fertilization is external. Got it? External. That means sperms as well as the eggs are released into the water where they fertilize. Okay. Next is development is direct or indirect. They exhibit direct development. Okay. Because higher organisms, right? Direct development will be there. Then another important thing is in the case of whether they are oviparous or viviparous. They are oviparous. No confusion here. Chondrichthyes are 100% viviparous. Osteichthyes are 100% oviparous. This is the thing you need to remember. Oviparous, that means they lay eggs. Okay, so these are the important characteristics you need to remember for the class Osteichthyes. So it will be easy for you to differentiate. Heart, I think all fishes have 2 chambered heart, auricle and 1 ventricle, and they have closed type of circulation. Okay, so this is enough actually. So I'm going to give you a work. If possible, you do it. Even it is given in the notes also. You need to differentiate between chondrichthyes and osteichthyes. It's a very important question in the examination. You will get a question. Differentiate between chondrichthyes and osteichthyes. 5 marks. So 5 marks. I have already explained the concepts of both. What is your duty is differentiate. Watch the video, then differentiate. Okay, fine, easy. Chalo then. Thank you.